Hello and welcome to this ACT video tutorial by ProAction. In this session we're going to be looking at setting your general preferences. The preferences screen is accessed via the Tools menu like so. The first item on the list relates to the display of the country code in telephone fields. At the moment this option is unchecked, and as we can see, the phone numbers are displayed as numbers only. But if we check this box and then apply those changes, we can immediately see the effect on the telephone number field. It is now showing the country code, and it obtains that information based upon the country that we have specified in the contact records country field. We can also specify whether or not we wish our users to be able to edit notes and histories. This will not prevent users from adding new notes and histories, but will rather prevent the changing of existing entries. To demonstrate this, I'll uncheck the boxes, and then if I go and create a new history, like so, it allows me to create the new entry, but if I now go and try and edit it, you can see that the item is greyed out and I can't make any changes to it. Equally, if I try and delete the history, then the system will come up and warn me that that has been disabled. So this is an important security feature of the program. We can also request the software to prompt us for a quote number when we create quotes from within sales opportunities. For more information on this, see our tutorial covering sales opportunities. We can specify here where our personal files are located. As this installation is single user, my database files are located on the local hard drive. But if this was part of a network installation, I can also browse for the database folders on the file server. ACT can automate some of the naming processes to make it easier for us to communicate with our contacts via the write function. For more information on this, see our tutorials covering writing and mail merging. We can maintain a list of first name prefixes and also surname prefixes, as well as surname suffixes. The system comes preloaded with a number of these, and we can also add and remove items via the add and remove buttons. We can also have the system display a dialog box when a name contains more than two names, and this will help us to ensure that the correct values go against the correct fields. The data entered here is particularly important in relation to the salutation preferences, which we will look at now. In relation to ACT, salutation is what follows the word dear in a letter, and the settings we enter here will have an effect on how we set up mail and email merge templates. And for more information on this subject, see our tutorial on mail merge templates. The settings that we enter depend very much on how we want to communicate with our contacts, either formally, Dear Mr. Doe, or informally, Dear John. Remembering the lists of prefixes and suffixes we just looked at, this is where we can automate how the salutation field is automatically completed by ACT, and it is worth spending some time to consider this before you begin to import or enter data. If you have a requirement for a mixture of methods depending upon the individual contact, then as a general rule set the salutation preferences up to reflect the most common method and deal with the rest manually. Lastly, we'll look at duplicate checking. We could set up unique duplicate checking rules for companies, contacts and groups. Duplicate checking helps us to avoid creating multiple records, either for the same contact, group or company, and thus we can avoid fragmented data. We can choose which fields to use when checking for duplicates, and we can also specify what course of action we wish the software to take when duplicates are discovered. This has particular benefit when importing data from external sources. So once our general preferences are set, it's just a case of applying any changes and then clicking OK, and we've successfully entered our general preferences. For more information on the additional preference areas, please see our tutorials covering those subjects. This brings us to the end of this tutorial, and as ever, if you have any questions relating to the content, then there will be full contact details available at the end of this presentation. It only remains for me to thank you for watching, and I look forward to your attendance on our next tutorial.